The teachers and prophets had gathered together in Antioch to worship and fast when the Holy Spirit spoke. "Set apart for me Saul and Barnabas for the work to which I have called them." The gospel had gradually spread as Christians moved from region to region, fleeing persecution. In the beginning, they spoke only to Jews, revealing to them that Jesus was the fulfillment of all God had promised, that He was the Messiah and their only hope for salvation. And more were added to their numbers with each passing day, both from among the Jews and, to the surprise of many, among the Gentiles, the people of the non-Jewish nations. Those the Jews believed had no part in God's covenant with Abraham. Although they had begun speaking only to other Jews, some among the Christians began sharing the gospel with Gentiles as well. Peter even visited the home of a God-fearing Gentile named Cornelius after both men received a vision from the Lord. And as he preached the gospel to Cornelius and his household, the Holy Spirit came upon them as He had on the first disciples on the day of Pentecost. The gospel came to the Jews first, but it wasn't for them alone. Now, Saul and Barnabas were to be set apart for their mission, the mission Christ revealed when Saul was converted, that he was Jesus' chosen instrument to take His name to Gentiles, kings, and Israelites, to bring the gospel to Jews and Gentiles, rich and poor, rulers and servants. From the beginning, this was God's plan, not just for Saul and Barnabas, but for all believers. Jesus commissioned every disciple to go into all the world and make disciples. Every one of God's people were to be His chosen instruments for communicating the gospel to people from every tribe, tongue, and nation. So Saul and Barnabas went forth. In Cyprus, they confronted a false prophet, a sorcerer full of deceit and trickery, a son of the devil and an enemy of all that is right, whom the Holy Spirit struck blind to prevent from perverting the straight paths of the Lord. In Antioch of Pisidia, Saul, who became known as Paul, entered a synagogue and proclaimed the gospel to all its members. "Let it be known to you that through this man forgiveness of sins is being proclaimed to you. Everyone who believes is justified through him, from everything that you could not be justified from through the law of Moses." Many rejoiced at this good news and urged them to tell them more. Many began to follow Paul and Barnabas, trusting in the Christ they proclaimed. But their proclamation didn't stop with the Jews. The gospel came to the Jews first, but it wasn't for them alone. The Gentiles also heard the gospel, and they received this good news with joy. And the word of the Lord continued to spread through the entire region, with more being saved each day. And as Paul and Barnabas left to continue their mission, they were filled with joy. One missionary journey led to another, and then another still. Persecution often followed. False teachers attempted to pervert the straight paths of the Lord, but in every region, the word of the Lord spread. The gospel continued to go forward, spreading among the Jews and the Gentiles, because the gospel wasn't for the Jews alone. It was for all people. And Paul's missionary journeys multiplied into other missions as more believers took up their calling to make disciples of all nations. A calling that continues to this day with us. A calling that will continue through every generation of believers until the day that Christ returns and all the things are made new.